So this is a tutorial on how to enter a contact and top producer. This is something that's going to be done on a regular basis. My guess is pretty much daily, and it will vary a little bit from contact to contact, but you'll get used to that as we go, because a lot of the information is really going to be based upon the information you're going to insert anyways into the top producer templates is, based on the information you're provided. So if you don't have the information, obviously you can't put it in there. Okay, so if you want to find the cheat sheet or checklist for adding a new contact, it's right in your folder, our shared folder, the team folder. You just go to tutorials, and the first one, that's just the cheat sheet right there. So you can open that, and if you open up, which you already have, and then you're going to click on the top producer link that I put in there. Now, at first, it may just take you to like a general web page, and you'll have to click on the login page, but I'm pretty sure that should work. If I do this on mine, it just automatically goes to it, because I guess there's cookies have been created for it. So let's go to top producer. The username is Carrie Davies, my name, and the password is Carrie D, and D for Davies. And all the login codes, again, go back to the Dropbox shared folder, and under the assistant file, there is actually a sheet with login codes there. I'll open it up here for you, and there's the top producer one there. So there's the username and the password. Okay, so sign in. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. That should only come up the first time you use it. It shouldn't come up on a regular basis. So this is top producer. So what you're going to do is going to go up to contacts, and you can see there's a drop down sheet here. Go add. And it's going to take you to this form here. So here's where you're going to get the information from. I will, in most cases, just be forwarding you an email. So as I mentioned earlier, sometimes there'll be a fair bit of information to put in, and sometimes there won't be a whole lot. In this case, we'll assume I forwarded this email to you as soon as I find it. And this is a request on a property I got here. So this is my listing up here. And then somebody, this Laura C, has requested information. So what we're going to do, we're going to start to put her in here. So right in this, where it says name, you just type the whole thing, Laura C. Now, this one is a little bit unusual, because in her email address, it doesn't actually say her last name. So sometimes we have to be a little bit creative, because I did not know what it was. But I'm going to show you how we can kind of find it here. You got to kind of read through it. But in her email address here, you see the L Cummins. So I'm going to guess that's her last name. And if it's not, well, too bad, but we'll assume it is for the time being. It can always be changed down the road. So do that. And just kind of work your way down here. I don't know who her husband or partner is. If I did, I would put it in there. In this case, there is no phone number, but it's worth looking. So we're going to go back to the email and just kind of glance through it. There's a bit of a thread here of different emails, because I had a fair bit of correspondence back and forth with her. There is no, in this case, I don't have a phone number for her. However, so let's make one up. Let's pretend there was one, so I would just type it in there, 250-213-9999, and hit the tab. I'm not going to worry about any of this. I guess if I had it, I would put in there. But what's really important is her email address. So we're going to go back over here, and I'm just going to cut and paste it. Just going to paste it right in there. And then what's really important with this, so that's kind of just the basic information. And in some cases, that's all you're going to do. But in other cases, there'll be a lot more. Make sure you save it. So I can go down here, and I can just add the contact, or I can save and add more details because I want to show you a few other things in here. Okay, so I saved it. Now it's actually gone right back where I want to be, the summary here. So you can see all these tabs along here. So if I wanted to go back for contact information, there she is. But I'm going to go over the summary because I need some notes in here. So you'll see here this is place for notes because we have thousands of contacts in here, and we need notes in here so that I can jog my memory to know who these people are. So here's what I suggest. I'm going to just open up a notepad here, and I'm going to go back to the email, and I'm going to copy and paste some of the comments here. So you got to sort of follow the threads here, but this one seems to be a little bit backwards, but just start copying this stuff here. Oops. So just take a second. You can close in the gaps here. Or the spaces. We don't need them. I just want to have a little bit of the back and forth here, so I know what we talked about. Go back there again. See what else she said. I've asked her some questions. I've asked her if she's working. Just keep copying this stuff here. I'll be able to piece it together. It maybe not make too much sense when you first look here, but it'll make some sense to me. We don't need this part here. Let's get all the stuff in here from her. She's got a 7-year-old. That's important to know because of age restrictions on properties. Back to here. Oops. No, I want to be here. I'm just going to keep pasting this stuff in here. See what else I can find. Okay. This one's a good example because there's quite a bit of stuff in here. Sometimes it's a little easier to do this because it makes a little more sense. But it just gives me a hint and sort of jogs my memory. I'm just going to have one last look and see if there's anything else that I think is important here. Yeah, sorry, corrections, fine. Interest of unit, minimum age. Don't need that. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my notepad here, cut and paste all this. And then I'm going to go back to Top Producer in the summary. Just going to click there, paste it right in there, and then save the note. So that gives me some notes on it, so I know what she's about. Now, other things you might add in here, but you'd need instructions for me on it. So, lead info. If I haven't given you the lead info, lead type, you need to ask me. Now, in most cases, it's just a buyer. It's obvious. She was inquiring about a property. So you just click that. The source, if I haven't told you, you're going to have to ask me. But in this one, call her, this one came through, actually, I don't even think I got it in here. I'm going to have to add it in here. come through uplist. Well, I'll just put real photo. Actually, I maybe do have real photo in there. No. Real photo, which is uplist. I'm going to save it because that's a new one. So that's the main source. Sometimes I have a sub-source. In this case, it would just be listing color. And then, always important, you got to save the information. All right, so just kind of a look here. That's all we're going to put there. Go over to the next tab, contact details. That's all the information that we're provided, so we can't do much more than that. Now, quite often, almost always, you'll have to go to the Activities tab and launch a perform an action. I forgot the words there. Okay, so we're going to apply an action plan. Pretty much is what you're going to do every time. And then there's a variety of these come up here. And again, I have to tell you which one to check off. So this one is a new buyer, and so you can see it's different. New buyers by referral, buyer not referred, which she is, and then there's a sort of a variety of other ones here. I'm just going to check that so you can read it. Some FB is a Facebook lead, but I'll tell you which one it is, and then you just select it. So this one buyer was not referred, and then you just select it, whatever today's date is, and check that, and then you save it, and it'll populate down here, and there'll be a bunch of to-do stuff here. One last thing here is sometimes we will have a property address for them, or it's something we'll have to add in later. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So you just click on there, and as you can see, we got no property address. So we're going to click on that, and type of property. Well, it's always primary. Don't need to worry about house style. Now, the street address is really important how you enter this, because it's a little bit counterintuitive, and it's just the way I enter it because of a bit of a issue with Top Producer and transporting, exporting information, particularly addresses, out of Top Producer. They don't make it easy. So the only form you're going to put here for the street address, we'll assume we had one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put it Pear Street. You're going to put it all, this whole street, the whole street address right in here. You're going to ignore all the rest of this. That's all you're going to do there. Then you're going to go down here. There's no post office box. Assuming the city's Victoria, it isn't always, but quite often be. State or province is a drop down. In most cases, you'll know where it is. In this case, it's BC. It'll be obvious, I think. I guess if you don't know, you can just ask me. You can select country. It doesn't really matter because it's not something I really use. And then the final thing is you're going to put in the postal code here. I mean, they're calling it zip codes here because this is kind of an American program, but in Canada they're called postal codes. So we're V8. I'm just making something up here. So V8X4L7. Okay, and then we're going to save that. And that's pretty much it for now. That's about all there is to it. And so that's the end of this video.